By the 10th century, Christianity had spread throughout much of Europe and Asia. The Church of England was becoming well established with its scholarly monasteries, and the Roman Church and the Eastern Orthodox Church were continuing their separation, ultimately culminating in the Great Schism. Pre-scholastic theology. With the division and decline of the Carolingian Empire, notable theological activity was preserved in some of the cathedral schools that had begun to rise to prominence under it. Intellectual influences from the Arabic world percolated into the Christian West via Spain, influencing such theologians as Gerbert of Aurillac, who went on to become Pope Sylvester II and mentor to Otto III. Monasticism. Monastic reform movement. From the 6th century onward, most of the monasteries in the West were of the Benedictine order, owing to the stricter adherence to a reformed Benedictine rule. The Abbey of Cluny became the acknowledged leader of Western monasticism from the later 10th century. A sequence of highly competent abbots of Cluny were statesmen on an international level. The monastery of Cluny itself became the grandest, most prestigious and best endowed monastic institution in Europe, free of lay and episcopal interference, responsible only to the papacy. The Cluniac spirit was a revitalizing influence on the Norman Church. The height of Cluniac influence was from the second half of the 10th century through the early 12th. The Cluniac reform of monasteries that began in 910 placed abbots under the direct control of the Pope rather than the secular control of feudal lords, thus eliminating a major source of corruption. This sparked a great monastic renewal. Monasteries, convents and cathedrals still operated virtually all schools and libraries and often functioned as credit establishments promoting economic growth. Monastic contributions to Western society included the teaching of metallurgy, the introduction of new crops, the invention of musical notation and the creation and preservation of literature. Western monastic orders. Cluniacs. Canons regular, a community of mainly priests living according to the rule of St. Augustine. Carthusians. Celestines. Conventuals. Discalcade Carmelites. Olivetans, Premonstratensians, also known as Norbertines, Servites, Valumbrosans, Visitation Sisters. Spread of Christianity. Poland. The baptism of Poland in 966 refers to the baptism of Moscow I, the first ruler of the united Polish state. His baptism was followed by the building of churches and the establishment of an ecclesiastical hierarchy. Moscow saw baptism as a way of strengthening his hold on power, with the active support he could expect from the bishops, as well as a unifying force for the Polish people. Moscow's action proved highly successful. By the 13th century, Roman Catholicism had become the dominant religion in Poland. Hungary. In the Middle Ages, the Kingdom of Hungary was Christianized between 970 and 1038. Kiev and Rus. Between the 8th and the 13th century, the area of what now is Belarus, Russia and the Ukraine was settled by the Kievan Rus. An attempt to Christianize them had already been made in the 9th century, with the Christianization of the Rus Khaganate. The efforts were finally successful in the 10th century, when about 980 Vladimir the Great was baptized at Chersonesos. He was also married to the Byzantine princess Anna, the sister of the Byzantine Emperor Basil II. However, Christianity is documented to have predated this event in the city of Kiev and in Georgia. The success of the conversion of the Bulgarians facilitated the conversion of other East Slavic peoples, most notably the Rus, predecessors of Belarusians, Russians, and Ukrainians. By the beginning of the 11th century, most of the Slavic world had converted to Eastern Orthodox Christianity. 10th century timeline. 909 Abbey of Cluny, Benedictine monastery in France. 912 The Normans become Christian. 948 Einsiedeln Abbey of Switzerland. 948 The leader of the Magyars converts to Christianity. 957 Princess Olga of Kiev baptized. 965 Harald I of Denmark converts to Christianity and smooths the way for the acceptance of Christian faith by the Danish people. 966 Musko the first Duke of Poland baptized. Poland becomes a Christian country. 966 Musko I of Poland converts to Christianity and begins the period of Christian Poland. 984 Antipope Boniface VII murdered Pope John XIV, alleged to have murdered Pope Benedict VI in 974. 987 Nestorian monks visiting China find no traces of Christian community left. 988 Baptism of Kievan Rus. 988 Baptism of Kievan Rus under Vladimir I. 995 Christian missionaries from Norway begin working in Iceland. 997 Adalbert of Prague dies as a martyr in Prussia. 997 to 998 Antipope John XVI, deposed by Pope Gregory V and his cousin Holy Roman Emperor Otto III. 999 Much speculation and fear regarding the approach of the millennium. 1000 Leif Erikson introduces the gospel to Greenland, possibly Vinland.